my Star Spangled Banner. You like? No?
No, I took my headsets off. It was too much in my ear.
You don't like my singing?
Oh, I love your singing. When you're singing and not doing whatever it was that you were doing.
Vincent Vega.
See, I think that's cute.
You just coughed. You know we're live.
No.
Yes, we are.
My bad.
So, interesting story. I don't think you'll like it. No, because you know how like you always say, hey, truckers, send in your pictures of your trucks that are all lit up with the Christmas lights.
That's the Kansas guy, isn't it?
Oh, no, there was a Kansas guy. No, this one here.
Okay.
There's a story. It says Christmas lights on vehicles are illegal. Pennsylvania coppers warn.
Oh,
exactly.
Pennsylvania, how dare you?
See the picture? Like, so all these guys that decorate their truck, they risk getting tickets. So it says a local police department in Pennsylvania is reminding drivers that while Christmas lights on vehicles may be festive, they are not legal. Yeah, I know. On December 5th, York County Regional Police Department issued...
York. There it is, near Harrisburg.
Yes. They issued a warning about Christmas lights as vehicle decorations. There's been... it says that there's been a recent trend across the country of people decorating their vehicles with Christmas lights and driving on the roadway with the lights illuminated. So bad for you truckers for being festive. And here's what it really comes down to. I guess the brake lights and the amber lights are really supposed to be telling people what you're doing, braking, turning, all that other crap. And I guess they're worried about all that.
They're worried about those people that don't really know that the purple and the green and the yellow lights and the pink lights on vehicles are not naturally part of the vehicle.
Yeah, it didn't come originally with it.
Signify their turning or stopping.
Mm-hmm. So it says, well, it may seem like a festive idea to celebrate the holiday season. These lights are very distracting to other drivers and are illegal in Pennsylvania. Title 67 inspection regulations addresses ornamental lighting on vehicles in section 175.66. So obviously DOT has a thing about it. You can read about it. It says ornamental lamps, a lamp not enumerated in this section is not located as described in tables 3, 4, and 5 of this chapter. It is prohibited unless it is available as original equipment. So if your tractor trailer did not come with Merry Christmas flashing on it, it's not supposed to be put on it. It says provisions relating to flashing or revolving lights are in Chapter 15 and 173 relating to authorized vehicles and special operating privileges, a flashing or revolving lights or emergency and authorized vehicles. So please save your lights for your home and don't decorate your vehicle with them. We wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. Now, Ruth Ann, you always ask these guys, send in your decorated trucks. I still wouldn't mind them sending in the pictures in.
No, I really want to see the picture of the truck that got pulled over in Kansas by the police there and was ticketed because he had too much festive going on his tractor.
It says this isn't the only reminder that police have issued this holiday season about Christmas lighting on vehicles. In late November, a Kansas Highway Patrol officer ticketed a trucker for adding festive holiday lighting on their vehicle. That's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's so shameful.
So there you have it. The coppers are after us now.
I wonder if Mac wants to be the innovator and come up with something that's in the vehicle.
Mac?
Yeah, I just said Mac. I mean, it could be Freightliner.
Well, wouldn't it be cool like if the little eyes on the Mac Bulldog flashed? Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, it would be really... Oh, no, he's got to have a Santa hat.
A Mac Bulldog with a Santa hat. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, they should do something really festive and incorporate it into the tractor so that these drivers now can be part of the festive because, some tractors are the driver's home, not a block or stick-built thing that's on a piece of property. Some people have that as their home when they're driving. They don't have anything else.
Well, we don't advocate for anything illegal, and since it's illegal now, I guess it's always been. Yeah, and I guess as more and more truckers do it, more and more issues may happen. I don't know. All I can tell you is we love when we see a Christmas truck decorated and decked out. And y'all got any pictures, send it in. And I'll tell you what, if you got a picture of a cop writing you a ticket right beside the flashing lights, send that in too. We'll post it.
Yeah, I mean, they a lot of drivers do put like the wreaths and other, holiday decorations on their tractors. So they don't always have to have a bunch of lights on them. I mean, and they can have the lights in the truck stop and sitting, while they're sitting shut down.
Yeah, I mean, like it said it's illegal to have them illuminating
while driving.
So you can still be parked and have your Christmas lights on, and then wink, wink, when no cops are looking, maybe flash them on real quick while you drive. No, just kidding, just kidding. All right, Ruth Ann, Merry Christmas, everybody. And it's not Christmas yet. It's 2 weeks before, but we're getting to that point where it is Christmas time. So get into the holidays, everybody. Moving on. Let's take a quick break. If you're a driver looking for a new trucking job, check out NCI. NCI offers the following: new Kenworth T680s, competitive wages, solo, team, and students welcome, plus a full benefit package for you and your family. Check them out today at 888-311-7076. That's 888-7076. And tell them Talk CDL sent you. Drivers, if you're looking for a local, home, everyday driving job, apply with Carter Lumber today. They have positions for Class A and Class B local drivers. They can take experienced drivers, students, and non-CDL drivers. With over 160 locations, chances are they have a position for you. So go to carterlumber.com/talkcdl and apply today. Again, that's carterlumber.com/talkcdl. Thank you. Truck Parking Club is a network of instantly reservable daily and monthly truck parking locations throughout the U.S. Truck Parking Club helps connect truckers to truck parking locations throughout the U.S. via truckparkingclub.com. Our networks is made up of property owners that have locations adequate for truck parking to list on the platform. This includes trucking companies, storage companies, CDL schools, trailer leasing companies, real estate investors, truck parking operators, and more. Go to truckparkingclub.com today.
Attention trucking companies and truck drivers. If you need help with cash flow, we've got help on the way. Turn to Tab Bank, the bank that knows trucking. Tab Bank has been in the business of helping truck drivers and trucking companies with their cash flow needs for 25 years. It's just that simple. It's what they do. But they don't stop there. Tab Bank helps grow your business with their invoice, factoring, and banking services. What a plus that is. Before you book your next load, play it safe and contact Tab Bank to get their help with your factoring needs. Tab Bank helps determine the credit worthiness of your customers as well as billing and collection efforts on invoices that you factor with them. Let the experts at Tab Bank get you cash quickly for the loads you deliver. Again, it's what they do. Visit tabbank.com/talkcdl to learn more. That's tabbank.com/talkcdl. Tab Bank member FDIC.
A trucker, interesting article. And this trucker's like out of Canada, but I thought it would be interesting to read this because it says driver arrested after police catch him trying to repair his air brakes with zip ties.
I can't even picture it. I mean, I'm not wrapping it.
I don't know. Somehow he was rigging the zip ties to hold maybe something in place. I'm not sure. It says police in Ontario took a truck driver into custody after the truck stalled in an intersection, leading to an alarming discovery. It says the incident happened on Sunday, November 24th, when the tractor trailer stalled in the intersection of Cedar Creek Road and Industrial Road in North Dumfries in Ontario, Canada. Then it says officers pulled up to the driver as he was stalled in the intersection and discovered him attempting to connect his air brakes with zip ties. So that's what he was doing, right? So it says the unnamed truck driver was issued 7 highway traffic act charges, including operating an unsafe vehicle. The Waterloo Regional Police Services monitors and enforces and investigates road safety issues throughout the region and works to improve safety on an ongoing basis. Blah, 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 blah. See, here's what I don't get. If that would have been in the United States, first off, he would have got a ticket. You know, you get like a fine, and then they would have tagged him. He'd have been out of commission, right? That's what they would have done. They would have said, okay, this vehicle needs to be towed, and then you need to be paying for the repairs, and here's a fine on top of it. That's pretty much what we would have done here in America. Just so the guy's trying to jerry rig it. He's trying to improvise. And to be honest with you, my hat's off to the guy. You know what I mean? Like, there's many little tricks sometimes you got to do to get your truck moving. Who knows if the guy wasn't just it was stalled. He was trying to get the brake working. And so maybe he was just trying to rig it, right, so that he can get down the road to the shop. I don't know that the guy was actually going to go down the road driving. Go ahead, Ruthann.
It said that he had 7 violations. So I think there were probably more than just the air brake having an issue.
Well, see, to me, when you tick off cops, they find other reasons to ticket you, add on other stuff. And so that could have been, I say this guy honestly was improvising and he was,
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I look. If that was me, I would have use whatever means to get your truck going. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you're going to go down the road and operate it that way. Maybe the guy was just going to get to a shop, like I said, but he needed it to be rigged up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one for all of, hey, let me just throw something temporary on it to get it out of the way. Let me get it out of the middle of the road. Let me get something temporary just to move it down because, I really can't pay, a few $100s to have it towed so many feet. I understand that. I do. And I also understand cops do find more things sometimes than's necessary when they're doing an inspection. I understand that also. Some need to make a statement. But if the guy's brake lines were failing and they found more things, I'm kind of guessing that the tractor needed a little bit of work and the guy just was trying to not get it done yet.
Oh, maybe, but like I said, I'm on the driver's side on this because if it was me and I was stuck somewhere in an intersection, I'm going to try to make it work. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to get it going. If I can rig it, I'm going to rig it. Okay. It is what it is. I'm going to be MacGyver and I'm going to get that thing going because that's just like what I do. But you want to know something? If we're being honest,
you're not a MacGyver.
Yeah, I'm telling you I'll tell you one time I was broke down in I don't know if it was my Hornet or it was one old junky cars I had when I was younger. I was only like 19, right? And no, it wasn't broke down. I apologize. The radio went on me, and it was a fuse. So you know what I took? I took a piece of gum wrapper. How like
the metal part.
Yeah, the how it was. It's like a metal wrapper type of gum, or they use tin? Yeah, like the little tins they used to use. And I wrapped the fuse in that, and I stuck it back in the little slot, and it made a conductor out of it. And guess what? My radio worked until I could change my fuse. So I MacGyvered it. I improvised. I needed a radio. All I'm saying is this trucker got it. He was going to get himself rolling. He knew what he was doing. And I have enough faith thinking the dude wasn't going to just go operating all day long. He was probably going to go at least get it.
You're giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he knew the truck was crippled, and the only way to get it going was to zip tie it up and get the brake released or whatever he was trying to do just to get to the shop. That's what I say. Okay. The cop didn't have to arrest him. That's all I'm saying.
Did they say they arrested him?
They took him into custody. That's my whole point.
See, I didn't think that. I must have totally like skipped that part of it because I heard the violations and stuff, but I didn't hear taking him into cut. No, the cops shouldn't have arrested him.
That's my whole point. That's why I said in America we'd have gave him a ticket, and they would have read.
I was wondering why you said that.
Yeah, it's welcome to Ruth Ann's world. No, but seriously, if you think about it, that's exactly what we would have done. We would have red tagged him. He would have been out of commission. He would have got a fine, and then he would have had to pay for repairs. Okay, big deal. But why arrest the guy? I mean, that's just kind of stupid, I think. So, anyways, I won't comment anymore on that. Let's just move on. Did you have something you wanted to talk about?
I do. And I'm also going to say something real quick. When you said about using the paper, I seen that if you have a where you need a battery, right? And you only have you need a AAA and you only have, or you need a AA and you only have AAA, you can get that, like that kind of wrapping or something like that, and you could put it in the top part of where the battery would go to use the conductor to actually use that AAA battery to act like a AA.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things can be used against the rule, as far as the rule, like, for example, like an aerator for a bait bucket. Right? They take 2D batteries. Some take 2C batteries, right? Believe it or not, you can stick one battery in, hit the switch, and it starts working. You don't actually even need the 2 batteries. So there's all kind of little rules, okay, that can be overridden when it comes to mechanics to get things working right.
I remember you used to use, I think your pap told you to use a dime.
Yeah, there was if you have an air leak and you need to block a line, a dime is a perfect fit. You take the line off, put a dime in there, and then put it back on, and it blocks the line perfectly, and you won't have a leak in there. So there's all kind of little things, that you can do to improvise, to maybe limp to a store or a shop or a parking lot. Get the truck to limp and get out of there.
And like the cartoons, like in the older days when they'd make a truck or a train look like a cartoon and it would make it look like little funky things. I just literally have the image of a tractor limping to
exactly
in this cartoon effect, that bubbly cartoon effect. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's what you do. You limp it home. So you had mentioned something about new drug testing, and I want to move on to this because it was an interesting thought line. You said in 23 last year they approved and of course I thought you were going to be talking about hair follicles, but it's not. You said drivers are going to be they're what are they on the last step for this or something where, okay, so you normally do a urine test, but we all know that some drivers have what's called shy bladder. Sometimes like even me, I'll be like, okay, you got to piss now. I'm like, okay, I can't. So they now are going to offer a mouth swab, right? You said, so they'll take like a swab, stick it in your mouth and go ahead and put that in and test through that.
Right. I'll read the article just because of the terminology. This way you can hear it a little bit clearer instead of me cutting it short and accidentally leaving something out.
I want to also hear this mouth swab. Is it, does it go back the same distance as a urine test, or does it go back a lot further like a hair follicle test? You know what I'm saying? So go ahead. Let's hear it.
Following the approval of the Department of Transportation in 2023 to allow oral fluid drug testing as an alternative to urine testing, DOT-regulated employers will eventually be allowed to conduct drug testing using either method. Oral fluid testing is on hold, however, as the Department of Health and Human Services must first certify 2 labs for oral fluid testings. DOT's move last year essentially cleared a hurdle to allow oral fluid testing once certified labs are available. The National Drug Screening Incorporated, NDS, a provider of drug testing services and training, announced this week its new DOT-compliant oral fluid specimen collector training program, which will be available beginning December 5th. Per DOT guidelines, this training will equip collectors with necessary skills to conduct oral fluid drug testing in compliance with the DOT's latest guidelines approved for workplace drug testing as of June 1st, 2023. While collector training may begin, testing cannot begin pending HHS, which is the health lab certifications as noted. The introduction of oral fluid testing by DOT provides a viable alternative to traditional urine testing, offering a non-invasive approach that reduces privacy concerns and minimizes tampering risk. NDS said as oral fluid collections are directly observed, they improve detection accuracy for recent drug use and are particularly beneficial in situations where privacy or direct observation is a requirement. The company's new training will include live in-person sessions as well as live online event options, a computer-based on-demand courses. All of these training programs will prepare collectors for the DOT's oral fluid testing requirements. The training also incorporates practical experience with the required mock collections, essential for compliance with DOT regulations, NDS said. For those seeking in-depth, hands-on training, NDS will offer one-day live events that will be available in cities nationwide. Sessions run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's just in case you want to learn, to become part of that. I don't see...
I looked it up. So while you were doing that, I just pulled it up. Now, I don't know. Gosh, it seems a little bit more lenient. When you hear this, you might want the swab instead of the urine. I asked how far back do the drug tests go back? On a swab drug screen. It says how long do drugs stay in saliva and how far back does the mouth swab go? A mouth swab drug test detection period is generally 5 to 48 hours. The THC swab detection time is up to 72 hours. And I'm going, wow, because when you do a urine test, it's like 30 damn days, man. These guys, like if you're smoking weed, and especially if you smoked it more than once, and it's like 28, 29 days ago, could even be 31, 32 days ago in that month time frame where you're going to fail. This is saying that the swab really only goes back as far as 72 hours. And the hair follicle, that goes back because they can only do like an inch. They can only do like 1 inch per 30 days or something like that. It goes, so they take off 3 inches. I think that's what it is, 3 inches. And they'll clip off you, and that goes back to 90 days. So this new drug screening, according to checkr.com, up to 72 hours for the THC. Methadone is 72 hours also, I think. I don't know. I don't trust any of it, to be honest with you. You're better off not smoking or doing any drugs, obviously. But this is going to be, for those guys that say they can't pee, it's going to be an alternative. And if they refuse both, then they're probably going to get a refusal and then be listed in the SAP program. Anyways, interesting article. Thank you.
One of the things that I just seen here, it says the department said that generally narrower detection window offered by oral fluid testing could give fleets a better chance at detecting recent drug use, such as for a post-accident drug test, adding while oral fluid testing may provide a better indicator of an employee's recent use of the drug, it also detects frequent users, but notes that oral fluid windows of detection will likely be shorter than for urine.
Mm-hmm. So there's the shorter part, but it says it's also better detecting recent and more, what did it say, fluent?
Yeah, frequent users.
Okay. Wow. Interesting, huh? Mm-hmm. So how about we move on? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, interesting. And it just said that it's still held back, but they're thinking it's going to go soon to where they start offering this. They're looking to initiate 2 drug labs. Right.
Well, right now, like you have so many labs that do all of the different testing.
Correct.
And what they're doing is the labs right now are providing these testers to be trained.
Right.
So once these testers are trained adequately, then they'll be able to be approved by the HHS, which is the Health and Safety Division. And once they get approved from that, then they can go ahead and start providing that to the public itself.
Okay. Moving on.
All
right. So, we post things and our Facebook page has, like just under 500,000 followers on it. And, sometimes you have different things that create like a controversy. And so I had posted a video a week or two ago where a car was merging into the traffic, right? And the trucker, obviously there was a trucker coming by the get-on ramp, and so the car never stopped. He just kept going, and he cut right in front of the trucker, and the trucker hit him. Mm-hmm. And so the question was that we posed, or somebody else had posed rather, whose fault? Oh, I did. I said, whose fault was this? And so some drivers are saying, the trucker's fault. He's the professional. Some drivers are going, no, the trucker held his lane. He didn't have to move. He didn't have to do nothing. Well, the thing about it is, if you watch the video, you can clearly see the guy coming into his lane. I mean, honestly, you're just watching it. You can see. Okay, if the camera can see, so can the driver. Okay, and so you're watching this and you see it, and the truck driver doesn't slow down. He doesn't try to avoid it, right? Now, my guess is he wasn't paying attention, so he didn't really probably see it, all right? So what my thing was, I got into a conversation with a couple guys, and you couldn't get them to see it. They were saying, nope, the trucker did everything right. But the problem is when safety sees, okay, somebody merging into your lane, and you don't at least back off or move over to the left lane. Now, we don't know for sure that there wasn't somebody to the left where he couldn't have, but there was absolutely zero slowing down, and therefore they hit. So my statement was, look, it's not about whose fault it is. When your safety director sees this, the first thing he's going to say is, but you didn't try to prevent it. Okay.
Right.
So this is where when we were trained in driving, truckers are trained to literally look as far as they can for any obstructions, anything. Now, when you're coming down the interstate and you see this guy barreling down the on-ramp and you're not slowing down, you're not moving over, to me, I've seen a million times where somebody just rams their way into traffic. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to attempt to slow down, then you should be expecting this guy's to do something dumb. And so I wanted to talk about merging and whose fault is what, whose responsibility is what. But a trucker always has the higher responsibility.
Because they are the professional.
Exactly, because they are considered the professional. If you're going to be considered a professional, you need to act like a professional. And a lot of truck drivers, there was a lot of people commenting on this. A lot of truck drivers were saying the same thing that I'm saying. They were saying, listen, the guy never slowed down. The guy didn't try to prevent it. He just kept going, barreling down the road. First off, if I'm going through a city, you could tell it's a busy area where he's going flying through. And it was like 3 or 4 lanes going the same way. I'm not going to ride the lane all the way to the right where people are trying to ram their way onto the interstate. Okay.
Right, where it's constant going in and out. Yeah,
I don't care if somebody's pissed off because I'm in like the second or third lane. I think it was 4 lanes. So I'm going to be in the second or the third lane going through a congested area. I'm not going to take the chance because I already know. I've watched it. Every truck driver can testify to this. You could be a truck driver with only 3 months experience and you've probably seen a million drivers try to ram their way into traffic, which is a danger to you. So, you got a couple options. Number one, when you already see one coming down the ramp and you're rolling along, you're better off either getting over or just start slowing down and expect. You have to expect four-wheelers to do dumb things. If you're not expecting four-wheelers to do dumb things, then you're not a professional driver. I'm going to tell you that right now.
No, I will agree with that.
100%. I mean, come on now. You drove for a short time. I had you driving, and you never got in any kind of accidents because you were always watching for for any dangers, like we're all taught. You look for the guy that's going to be a dummy. You don't look and go, okay, everything's just going fine. And you constantly have to monitor every 5 to 7 seconds. You should be monitoring your mirrors. It's not just something where you grab the steering, like everybody calls these guys steering wheel holders. It's a big term on the internet, right? It's like you gotta expect everybody to do the wrong thing. So you gotta watch your mirrors constantly. Know who's coming up from behind you. Watch those ramps, those get-on ramps, and slow down. The guy that doesn't try to prevent the accident is also partly to blame. Even though this trucker was not at fault on the accident, he's still at fault on the accident because he never took his foot off the throttle. He just kept hammer down. And the other thing was he wasn't paying attention because you could have clearly seen that this guy was coming into your lane and that you were going to be making contact. And at that point, he should have started slowing down. He didn't.
Well, it's a shame because, that's an incident now.
Right. Well, it's actually not an incident; it's an accident because the car spun sideways he pushed the car down the road.
That's what I was meaning. It happened. It was an incident that happened, not meaning it's an incident, non-preventable or preventable type of situation.
Well, here's the thing: you can be a driver. We love drivers. Okay, we're not here to pick on drivers, but
Troy's picking on you.
Yeah. No, I'm actually trying to help people. People that have the attitude of just because I can hold my lane and gun it doesn't mean you should, especially if you can see an accident coming. A professional can see accidents coming. And I will guarantee most professional drivers every day avoid some kind of an accident. I would almost guarantee it.
Just because I can climb on your back, wrap my legs around you and choke you out doesn't mean that I should actually do that move.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't even make sense. Anyways,
well, I'm just pointing out that I shouldn't have to, not to always be aggressive.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Welcome to my world. So.
Hoist Gracie.
I raised her on UFC. but no, seriously. Here's the bottom line with this. And if you think that, okay, I had the right of way, that guy was fired. Okay, if you get into an accident and get hurt, all that stuff, just because you thought, well, I can hold the line and I don't have to slow down. This is my lane. I'm not doing anything wrong. It could be a career-ending move for you just because you didn't do it. Somebody could get hurt or killed. But here's the bottom line: when safety reviews those videos, and they do, obviously, now. Insurance might side with you because that car did come over. But I guarantee you the safety director is going to terminate you because you never slowed down. You didn't try to prevent it. And they are not going to keep you every time. I've worked around safety departments, and they are going to blame you. Now, I'm not saying I blame you. I'm just telling you that if you can prevent an accident, you need to prevent the accident. Not preventing an accident is also taking on the responsibility of being also at fault, is what I wanted to say. What do you think of that, Rutan?
I agree. I think that just because you can, hold your lane or you are the bigger vehicle doesn't mean you need to be the tough guy and stay there. You need to be cautious still and take that training that you went to school for and that knowledge, the professionalism, and keep that as an upholded, like on a higher level, because just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, guys, if you want the title of professional driver, then you got to be better than the public because they are not professional. A lot of them are dummies. They really are. I mean, let's be honest with each other. Sometimes these four wheels, you actually have to scratch your head and go, how did they even get a regular driver's license? Some of them are just so stupid.
Right. And here's what as you're like explaining what happened, I kept thinking to myself, what exactly, could he have been doing to not see the car coming in? I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe he was like looking around. Maybe he was looking at his phone. Maybe he was doing other things. Now, you can't see that unless he had an in-cab type of camera watching him.
Yeah, I don't know if they had the inward-facing camera or not.
But this is proof that those kind of things can happen, and you can end up having such an issue to where that few seconds of that driver rushing up on that ramp, and you then are looking away or doing whatever, missed it and collided.
Well, here's the thing. There's no doubt that unless you're blind, you would have seen the guy flying alongside you coming down a ramp, because he's actually level with the cab because he's coming down a ramp. So you can see this guy, tearing it up to get down there on the lane. So at that point, you should be watching that guy like a hawk, okay? Mm-hmm. Even if you're not slowing down, your eyes should not go off of that guy. Well, of course, you're shifting, watching everything else. But that guy should be your main focus point at this point, because you can see an aggressive driver coming. So when he comes into your lane, you have no excuse to say, I didn't see the guy. You absolutely have zero excuse on that. Mm-hmm. So again, I just want to remind everybody of the safety director at UPS from a few years ago. Yep. My friend reminded me he had to fire a driver one time. They had to fire this driver because this guy had the green arrow to make a left-hand turn in an intersection, and he was actually stopped. He wasn't even coming through. He was stopped. And he got the green arrow. He starts coming through and another guy's coming in the opposite direction at about 100 miles an hour. Now, could the guy have seen that? Yes, he could have. If he would have looked down the road, he could see a guy hauling ass. You can tell when somebody's moving like a rocket, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this guy ran right into the side of the UPS truck, and it wasn't the UPS truck's fault, technically. But at the same time, he didn't try to prevent the accident. He was terminated. The next day, he was fired because the other guy ran right into the side of his truck. He just ran the red light and smashed into him. It wasn't the UPS guy's fault, but at the same time, it was because he didn't see him coming. And these big companies, especially with big safety directors, they will always say you should have prevented. And that's really what I wanted to talk about here. Just because it's not your fault technically, it is your fault if you could have prevented it. Mm-hmm. And most accidents are very preventable. You can prevent. Now, a guy sitting at a red light and somebody runs up your rear end, that's different. Now, there's nothing you could do about that. You're stopped, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're moving in traffic and you get into a tangle up, most professional drivers, I know there's guys out there going to send me an email. I already know that. We get them. And they're going to say, you're going to give me incidences, blah, 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 blah. Well, guys and gals, I'm telling you right now, if you can see the vehicle, then you can prevent the accident. I'm telling you.
At least attempt to prevent it.
Yes. Now, I'm not saying that every accident is a trucker's fault. Absolutely not. I'm just saying that particular merge, when people are merging, okay, the only way it's not preventable is if there's room for him to get in and he gets in and just jams on the brakes and you hit him. But at the same time, you should be slowing down when people are merging. That's it. That's all I want to talk about. Settle my argument. Do you have anything else? How about we have the word of the day? Word of the day in this festive season. What do you got, Miss Ruth Ann? Dum-ba-dum-bum. Ready?
Acidulous.
Assiduous?
Acidulous.
Give me the definition.
Sharp tasting sour. Bitter cutting.
Assiduous. I like that word.
See, I would not have pronounced it that way. I'm going to show you what it looks like. See, I'm looking at acid.
Acidulous, yeah. Acidulous, yeah. Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
yep.
Cool. Well, we learned something new from Word Genius once again. All right. Well, hey, listen, all you truck drivers, we do love you guys. Even the ones that argue, we do love everybody out there. We wish you guys safe holidays, safe Merry Christmas, and all other stuff coming up. And hopefully this year is going to be a better year for you truck drivers. With the industry. They say freight's starting to balance itself out, and hopefully truck drivers are going to get back to making some better money to support their family, Ruth Ann, instead of, half the country is starving and in bankruptcy and behind on everything. Hopefully it's going to be something positive for these truck drivers.
I hope so.
I do too. Hardworking people, the trucking industry.
It's going to definitely, I think January's we're going to start seeing some new things happening, and we're going to see some older things being changed.
Awesome. All right, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.